Oh, yeah. What's up, Internet? What's going on? It's Monday, everybody. What are you doing? It's Monday. What are you doing? What is going on? What's happening on a beautiful, glorious Monday? It's pouring down rain and windy and cold here in glorious Western Washington. Well, sorry, just got a text from Vicky. Got a text from Vicky Toria, so I was like, whoa, what's that? Let me check that out. I better scope it, see what's happening. But happy Monday to everybody out there. Hopefully you had a gloriously beautiful weekend. Hopefully everything was everything you were hoping for and more. Right? Because that's the way we need to hope that everybody's weekend is. Let's check in here with the chat. We've got a Sarah Kanopko, number one to the chat. Number one to the chat today. Sarah Kanopko, Sarah Kanopko. So, Sarah Kanopko first to the chat. Congratulations, thanks for making it first. Quickly followed by Daryl Dimer, Leonie Ballantyne, Charlie List, Rocky's Ready, and Mary RN H2O. Right on. Everybody making it out for the early chat. Got a few other people to say hi to here. Let's see if we got people straggling in. I wonder if anybody realizes I'm live. I didn't tell anybody. We just went live. We didn't tell nobody that we was going live. And I didn't announce it into the chat today, so we'll find out what's going on. Savannah the Aqua Llama is making it into the early chat. And Dougie from the UK, otherwise known now as Bald and Dangerous. Glad to have you back, my man. From the early chat here saying that he was out on vacation. He was out on holiday, if you will, what the Europeans like to say. Was out on holiday and was stricken down by the pneumonia and some other issues, but we're glad that they didn't best you. We're glad you have not been bested by the sickness. Great to see you back. Sorry to see you back under less than fortunate, what's the word? Oh, what's the word I'm looking for here? Less than fortunate circumstances. There we go. I knew it was in there. I knew it was in there, you guys. But glad to see that you're okay and you have survived. Luckily, I've been through pneumonia myself. That's a brutal one. It's not a lot of fun. And, these days, 2018, you can make it through. We can survive to a certain degree, right? Right? Well, I hope so. I hope so after so many years. S. Oak was saying that they'll be back. And we'll hold you to that, S. Oak. I don't know if that's like a play on soak, or is it just S, last name Oak? Gotta get a little Mr. Brown in me, you know what I mean? Excuse me. Charlie List is here. Good to see you. Wooshoo, Jimmy Brown, Denise Lytle. Making it into the early chat. What's up, Denise? Good to see you. Tampa Tom is heading out on the kayak instead of being here for the show. You shall be missed, Tampa Tom, but He says it's 80 degrees and beautiful in Florida. That's pretty much... I mean, I don't know that I would be personally out on a kayak myself, but hey, that's exactly similar to what I would be doing if it was 80 degrees and beautiful here, so fully understand it. Fully understandable. Barbara Jackson is here, saying she bought C's chocolate Easter bunnies for this morning, getting ready for Easter. Right on. We are getting ready for Easter here big time. We got a bunch of kids coming over this weekend for the Easter mayhem, and I'm gonna make some. Believe we're gonna do some corned beef and a couple other things. So I think that'll be pretty fun little family dinner coming up this weekend. So I'm excited for Easter. Also, I was gonna order some chocolate truffles for myself, and then realized that I'm not gonna spend money on chocolate. So I have other things to spend money on if I had any. So I decided not to. So, but I can understand. I can fully understand if you got the spot to get some chocolate truffles, then do it. We got a chocolate shake yesterday though. Vicky and I split one, so that's kind of close. Kind of the same thing, right? Alyssa Bentley's here, making it in nice and early. Good to see you. Let's see here. The D. Thomas CG is here. Noah G is here. Oh, it looks like everybody making it in the room. Christopher is here. Ooh, I like that. Just the name Christopher. Strong. I like it. That's a smooth YouTube name. Mad Botany Organic Farms is here. Good to see you. JH Aquatics, what's up, my man? Oh, JH and I were having a little Facebook conversations this weekend. Hopefully we'll be seeing each other sometime soon. Hopefully this summer. Maybe if we can make that Peru trip. I don't know. Right now it's looking 50-50 at best. So we'll see how it goes. Bentley Pascal is here. What's up, my man? Let's see. I would argue at this point in time, diet shouldn't be blamed on anything but ourselves. We can make the change. We just have to want and to work at it. Yeah. I don't know what that's in regards to. I'm trying to read the chat here and catch up, but I agree. You know, I agree. It all comes down to personal decisions, man. Are you going to eat bok choy tonight, or are you going to have chocolate truffles? Because I might have chocolate truffles. I don't know. I'm ridiculous. Jennifer J. Sarchicino is here. She's lurking and class planning. Ooh, sounds good. Nelson Montañez is here. Hey, Corvus and everyone. Can't wait for the stream. And Corvus, it is in fact Montañez. Nice. Good catch. I like it. I'm good. I'm good sometimes. I'm good sometimes, and I'm glad I caught the Montañez instead of Montanez. Yeah, Montañez. Yes. Where's the Enye? He was missing the Enye in his avatar. I probably didn't have it on YouTube. Probably couldn't put that in there, so, you know. Well, let's see. Let's get caught up with the current chat here. Nathaniel John Michael Moncor is here. Ooh, a lot of people chatting, but I got to scroll down. Sorry, guys. I got to catch up here. Oh, we've got super chats rolling in. We got super chat from Jeff Rose Fish Keeping. What's up, Joel and the hashtag Fish Fam? He's got a $2 super chat tip for the tip jar. Thank you, my man. I appreciate it big time. Let me get the chat moved over here so it doesn't look like I'm looking around over in the corner over there. So let's get this worked out. So it looks like I'm sort of looking in the camera, kind of like just over here. Yeah, right. Mary RN H2O with the $4.99 super chat for the Easter Mayhem this weekend. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it. We did buy an exorbitant amount of barbecue supplies for this weekend and coming up a couple weekends from now. My birthday is coming up, and I almost always do a big barbecue for my birthday. It sounds weird. Sounds weird that I would want to cook for a bunch of people on my birthday, but realistically, that's kind of what I like to do for my birthday, is just cook for a bunch of people. So I don't know. It's a better hobby than a profession, I think, honestly. But, you know, that's just the way it goes. Ultimate Fish Keeping Show is here. What's up? BC Fish Room's here. What's up, Nick? How you doing? Anybody confused, BC Fish Room is My man Nick from Canada. What's up, my man? Andrew Crankshaw is here. Steve Shrimpy, Shrimperton, and more is here. Good to see you. I do have a... Whoops, that's not... What is this? Oh, come on now. I had it legit. Copy. Paste. Haha, here we go. Does it let me do it? Oh, look at YouTube letting me put in a link into the chat. Cool. So, I did release some new stickers and new shirts last week. And surprise, surprise, surprise. More stickers, more shirts. More stickers, more shirts out this week, you guys. So, anybody that was going, hey man, we need more stickers. Hey, we need more shirts. This one actually has a hoodie in it. So stickers and shirts aplenty for now. I do have a cooler plan coming up for stickers and shirts, but I almost guarantee some of the internet people will probably see through it. You know what I mean? They'll probably see through the plan. They'll probably see what's up. But for right now, we're going through Teespring. They're doing a pretty good job. They're doing the shipping. They're doing all that stuff. So I have gotten a few emails from a couple of people about stickers and stuff like that. And for me, it's not necessarily the issue of getting the stickers printed ahead of time. The big problem is actually shipping them. And I know that this sounds like a first world problem or something like that, right? But it's just, I just do not have the time to ship stickers like every day. I just don't. So I just don't have, what's the word? I just don't have the time actually to ship and stuff. So Teespring is actually, it's a kind of a fairly good resource in that fact that they do a fairly good job of shipping stuff out and everything. So that really is a part of a big part of the deal why I'm utilizing Teespring instead of copying or instead of printing more stuff and sending them out from here. I just, with all the jobs and stuff that I have to do, I just do not have a shipping window in the day every day to print all the labels, package them up, figure out where they're going and all that kind of stuff. I just honestly don't. So, the Teespring is kind of the greatest thing that the best thing that we can do right now, and it's working out pretty well. And there are some people out there that were asking about like quantity printing or something like that. If there was somebody that really wanted to print something, like somebody wanted to print out 500 of them or something like that, you can always contact me via my email, joel@darkstararts.com, and I can send you over the PNG if you just really wanted to print them out and like stick them on stuff or something like that. So I appreciate the emails that I've gotten from companies that want to print them, but I do have a local company that can and will print them for me. It's just that I can't ship them out personally. That's the big issue, is that I just don't have the time in order to ship out a bunch of stickers or shirts or any of that kind of stuff. So they're doing a pretty good, I think they're doing a pretty stellar job of it so far. So that's what's up. There's a bunch of stickers, all that kind of stuff. And if anybody was interested in those, they are available, and there are some new ones out this week. There probably will be some new ones coming out sometime next month, but we'll get some of that stuff hammered through at some point, and there will be a new, different way to order stuff, so we'll see how it goes. Casey Adams in the chat says, urgent, I have ick on my puffers. It is a planet tank. What's my best option? IckX, order some IckX and follow the instructions on the bottle. IckX is what you want to get. If you have IckX would be the one that I would go to for, especially for puffers, because they're going to be they're going to be the best thing to do for your puffers, realistically. It's just going to be the best way to go about it. Yeah, there's people in the chat getting weird right now. Well, that happens sometimes, but, you know, all good. Let's see. Janet Witten Bachelor says, it's not weird. I bought my own birthday cake to share when I was working. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's... Okay, all right. So speaking of the barbecue, the big barbecue is coming up. I actually am going to be inviting some of the local fish fam, which I'm not going to say who on here or anything like that, but some local fish family fams is going to be coming to that. Along with, of course, a laundry list of, you know, ragamuffin peoples that I'm inviting, you know, that may or may not know anything about fish tanks. So it'll always be super funny to see them kind of commingle together. Hopefully we get some nice weather. We'll see how it goes. Derek Runyon's here. What up? Alvin Alejo's here. Yo. Betsy Cummings loves the new shirt. Digging it. All right. Let's see. JH Aquatics always end up watching / listening while I'm cooking dinner because it's 6:15. 6:15 in the U.S. Virgin Islands, you guys. That's a weird time. Those of you in New Zealand, it's tomorrow. So, Mr. Gillett, good to see you. Thanks for coming out. Oh, Licks Nibbles is here. What's up? Good to see you. Gerson's here. Eric Klimp, howdy. What's up? How you doing? Ashley Taylor is here. Added a sump and weir over the weekend after watching your vids. It was a nightmare drilling the base of the tank. I'll post pics to Patreon once it looks nice. Oh, right on. So Ashley has upgraded to a sump with a weir drain. So I'm betting you it's nice and quiet and awesome to see that added filtration area. I do have some. I have a tank drilling, a glass aquarium drilling weird video of me working at the co-op with Corey. I was just up there giving him a hand, having a good time with my buddy. You know, we're like the Step Brothers. I don't know who's who. I don't know if I'm Will Ferrell or he is or the other guy. Who's the other guy in that movie? I was gonna say William H. Macy, but that's not right. What's that dude's name? Hold on a second. Let me look this up. Step Brothers movie cast. Here we go. John C. Reilly. Okay, it wasn't William H. Macy. That's a different guy. But there was like the extra letter in the middle, so. But John C. Reilly. I think I put myself as the John C. Reilly, and Will Ferrell can be. Corey could be the Will Ferrell. There we go. But definitely have a tank drilling and setup video, which should be coming out tomorrow in relation to your comment there, Ashley. And I know that they've been utilizing those tanks over the past however long. Like I said, we were just up there goofing around and giving my buddy a helping hand. And, you know, came out pretty cool. We shot some time-lapse and stuff like that. And really trying to figure out how to release some of that stuff in a better way. You know, it's just like, it almost just gets kind of boring, like watching a time lapse. But then I realize it's boring for me because I was there. And I'm like, I'm watching the thing I did already. So we do have that coming out tomorrow. You guys will be able to check that out. A little behind the scenes action from one of your favorite guys out there, the old Corey from the Coop. Corey from the Aquarium Coop. And speaking of the Aquarium Coop, if you all head to the Aquarium Coop and you want to, hold on, I lost my link. What happened to it? Oh, rookie. Let's see. What is going on? Oh, man, this is ridiculous. Where's the button? There we go. Yeah, hey, here we go. I got to find the login thing. There we go. Got to log in there. I'm not... You stupid computer, what are you doing? Now I got to tell him I'm not a robot, y'all. C3 D. Stupid. A. There we go. All right. Whoa. Oh. Okay. All right. All right. Do we get it? Okay, I got it. I got it. Okay, there's the link. Oh, no, I can't do it. I can't do it that way, you guys. It won't let me. Oh, hold on a second. This is ridiculous. Sorry, guys. This is how I get... This is how I sidetrack my own show by not having my little links ready. Okay, so there's the link right there into the chat. If you all head over to the Coop, and if you want to buy something there, head through that link and just let them know that I sent you, and then we can be goofballs together and let everybody know that you know, that we all got it together. We all got it together. We got everything sorted. Okay. Well, all right. Hopefully we answered a couple questions out of the chat so far, and I will first, at this point in the show, let you all know what's going on today with the title track. What's the old title track, y'all? The title is about Eriocaulon Vietnam. Trimming and propagation. I probably said that, Eriocaulon. I probably say that completely wrong. Just know that I'm saying it phonetically, I think, just how you read it. I normally referred to as Erios and then whatever type. Vietnam is the type that I happen to have in the 240, and I've been doing a bunch of work on the 240, and it was definitely time to split and propagate some of the Eriocaulon that was in there and get them moved to, or actually get them split so that I could replant them and propagate them all over the place, and get them planted in all the areas where they needed to go. That's going to be the video segment today. If y'all are new to the show, about an hour in is when I normally start the video segment, and it gives everybody an opportunity to go back and forth, ask questions about the video segment. That's what today's video segment is about. This show is pretty loose. It's a 2-hour show. It's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. I generally talk about whatever I feel like talking about. I almost dropped the F-bomb. I almost said feel, you guys. I almost said feel. Oh, I said feel. I'm sorry, guys. Sometimes I talk about what I feel, what I know, answer questions, kind of go back and forth. One of the big reasons I do this show is to be able to have a back and forth with people instead of just, posting a video and then maybe answering some of the comments or whatever every once in a while, which realistically half of the comments are almost always nonsense anyhow and have to be deleted. So that's one of the reasons I started doing this show, because I wanted to do a long format show where we can actually have a conversation, we get to answer and chat back and forth and have timely answers. I've since added the video segment, which gives us something that I've been up to. You guys get to take a look and have a first look at some of the projects that go on, and sometimes the only look at some of the projects that go on. And some of the times they don't get made into a proper little video, you know what I mean? So, if you guys ever hear me talk about the Patreon, it's because of people like Beck Mortensen, who came in with the $1 Patreon pledge. Thank you very much, Beck, during the show today here. Thank you very much. I wholeheartedly appreciate it. Thank you very much for the patronizing. One of the big reasons that this show is possible, actually probably the biggest, mainest reason that this show is possible is because of the Patreon, which is, this is it right down here. So you guys can see I have a little overlay down here. I used to be able to make a little video that would play everybody down there. But honestly, the time constraints just got bananas with trying to make that, because we have 292 Patreons. So it had become really crazy to try and get all the Patreons into a new video segment. I would have to hire somebody to make that. And you know what? Hey, if the Patreon hits the big main goal, I'm definitely gonna hire somebody. Somebody asked me that a while ago. They were like, "Dude, are you gonna hire somebody if you get to a certain point?" And I'm like, "Yeah, For sure. Like 100%. If I get to a certain point on the Patreon, I am certainly going to hire somebody to help me out so we can keep making more and more stuff. Oh, I got a fish question from the old face page. Okay. Oh no, it was just a thanks for answering my question from the face page. All right. Oh, we got a bunch of Patreon posts also. Cool. You get to be able to read those later. Typically, if you post a question or something like that into the community page on the Patreon, oftentimes, like I said, there was 292 people as I reloaded it just a minute ago. If you post into the community portion of the Patreon, oftentimes people can answer your question. If I'm like out in the field or something like that, and I don't have time to answer anybody's questions, what I do is I try to answer whatever you guys post into the community on the Friday show. That's pretty much the plan. That's pretty much how it's been going for a while now. Try to answer your questions, or we take a look at the picture that you posted. And we run through that stuff on Fridays, which is often fish questions or a project that somebody's working on. You know, for instance, we had some questions about a stand build a little while ago, and hopefully we got those handled and stuff like that. It looks like Rich Andy is here saying, hey, Stephen Ballmer is here saying fish questions are good. Darko Leskovacek. Right. Leskovacek? There we go. Darko, what's up? Yeah. Saying that the all-white canvas looks daunting. It does, doesn't it? It looks super daunting when there's nothing on it. It's always a trip. I rarely do I ever have a 100% blank canvas just sitting and not doing anything. So there is a plan for that canvas. No worries. It's definitely going to get... it's going to get some paint thrown on it very soon. And, but I got to work out some of the design ahead of time before I go throwing that on there. You know, you got to follow that learned behavior and try not to replicate the exact same mistakes that you may or may not have made in the past. And that's what I'm trying to do. Just try to make sure I got my layout exactly correct before I go splashing paint all over the place, you know, and then I end up tripping, and I end up wondering what's going on. And I'm not tripping like Fluval be tripping, you know, but I don't want to end up tripping, you know. Just try to see how many times I can say tripping in just a couple of seconds. Quick note from this weekend. Okay, the chickening is continuing. The chickening shall continue. Those of you that understand that I'm what's called Vicky and I are are we urban farmers? Is that what we are? We live pretty close to the city. We do have a little bit of property here. We do have a little bit of property, not a lot, and but we do have. We have a bunch of chickens. We have our raised bed garden and stuff, which is actually expanding. And I was hoping that tomorrow was going to be a chickening video, but the project is continuing. The project shall continue on, and so I may or may not have the chickening video maybe like this weekend, I think. I'm guessing is probably going to be this weekend, which is unfortunate, but just in the timeline, we had some other project stuff that we had to do this weekend, and we got that handled, but it just didn't mean that we got to finish the gates for our new our chicken madness that's going on. So the last thing I want to do is put out a video and go like, yeah, it's not done. Cool. See you later. So we're going to do our best to keep plugging away at that and getting that done. And so I'm pretty excited. We have how many chickens do we have now? 12? I think we have 12. 11. Maybe we have 11? Gosh. I'm a terrible small farmer. I don't even know how many chickens I got. 11, I think. Yeah, we have 10 laying chickens plus Booger, who's the big lady hen. She doesn't lay anymore. She's that old. She's our matriarch. She's the matriarch of our hen flock. And she's all white now. She's old. And big. She's bigger than everybody else. So Booger is the matriarch. So she doesn't lay. So we have 10 layers and then one just big mama chicken named Booger. Fish tanks, guitars, and more was Zach Denham. Zach Denham has changed his name. Oh, no, sorry. Roger Denham still is named Roger Denham. Zach Denham must be a different guy. Sorry, I got you guys confused. Same last name. Saying when you have so many chickens, you lose count. Yes, I don't know. It's like, is there 11? Is there? It's just like, I don't ever know. KG Sicklin stopping in to say, what's up? Sup, bruh? How you doing? What's up, bruh? Was that KG that was like, was that you that was trying to eat some spinach or something the other day? Rory's here, just stopping by from work. Stopping in to say, hey, yo. Well, good to see you. Let's see. The D. Thomas says, at what age did she stop laying? I've heard it can be anywhere from 3 to 5 years old. That is correct. She probably is, I would guess that, I think from what Vicky said, she's 6, maybe. She might be 6 or 7. But yes, 3 to 5 years is when they stop laying eggs. They just run out, you know, just like human ladies. They just run out of eggs, and they just ain't gonna make no more. But Booger is actually the first chicken that Vicky hatched from a chick and raised all the way up, right? So I think she'd hatched and raised some other I think she'd hatched more chicks than just Booger, but that's the one that they kept. It's the one that they kept for a long time. So I don't know. I mean, Booger could be, you know, I don't know. I'm kind of being a jackass right now because she might even be older than that. From my understanding is that they can live up to like, I think 15 years is how long that they can live, just kind of cruising around, being an old bird. But typically, with the old layers that we have, typically they'll be taken out to a property. Once they stop laying, we'll actually take them out to a property where they can just run wild. Honestly, I don't know how long they last out there. There's a lot of bald eagles and crazy nonsense that will probably feed on them. But the type of layers that they typically have that they get that old, they're just not that great for eating. Plus, there's just really no reason to just murder them and not eat them, right? So it's kind of a more natural way just to let them kind of go buck wild out in the wild down there. And you know, we visit them when we go down there to camp and cut wood and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, oftentimes they come busting out of the woods and stuff. And you're like, hey, nature chicken, what are you doing? So they do pretty well. But everyone, you know, we'll see them for a while and then they disappear. I don't know if they migrate, if they decide to figure out how to fly. Something goofy like that. Maybe they know how to fly and they just fly down to Mexico or something. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But so I have seen every once in a while the probability that it was a bald eagle had lunch, if you know what I mean. So, but it just seems like a good a better way to just rehome them and let them be wild out down there, and it's kind of farm country and stuff. So there's a lot of little nonsense for them to pick through and stuff like that. So they have a good time, and that's typically what we do. But Booger is the one who has been here for long time. Let's see. Jan Keller said, wait, I think I tuned into the wrong live stream. Is this about fish or chickens? Well, so one of the big things is that I think we have a lot of new subscribers recently, and this may or may not become confusing to people because my channel has hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of video, which may or may not be pretty confusing to people. I'm pretty much, so to give you guys an explanation on my backstory, I'm a traditionally or sorry, what's the word? Classically trained chef. I'm also a handyman. I'm a painter. I do a lot of painting, house painting, plumbing, electrical, all sorts of stuff like that. I do a ton of construction. My main reason for that, because this seems to be confusing for a lot of people, is I've learned how to do all this stuff over my life. You know, I'm not the youngest guy around. I'm definitely not the oldest guy around, but I have emulated my life after the old guys that I knew that knew pretty much how to do everything, whether it be algebra or fine art or swinging a hammer or blacksmithing or whatever. That is what I have emulated my life after. Some very interesting and awesome people that I have had the pleasure to know in my life. Some of them have passed away. Some of them are still living. A great example of that would be a fellow that I know that retired and bought himself one of those, like, what do you call it? Like a Rockstar RV bus, and they just drive around. They just drive around the States being retired, right? But I have been shaping my life to try and be like one of those guys when I'm old. And people will be like, there's that weird guy down the street. He'll fix it, whatever it is. And that is pretty much what I pour my life into, is to learn all of these things. Now, one of the big things that I want to be able to do someday is own and operate my own small farm in which I don't have to buy food from somewhere. Like I said, being a classically trained chef, I've been exposed to a lot of food, a lot of farms, and a lot of things in the world from that avenue. So I want to be able to actually produce all of the stuff that my family eats and stuff like that. So are we independent at this point? No. This is going to be a long process, and we're going to be able to do a lot of things at some point in time. I don't know if we'll ever be, as Mateo's saying, off the grid, but we might be off the grid at some point in time. But I want to be, I guess if you want to say off the grid, yes, but fully connected. I want to be able to continue to do the internet shows, share videos, share successes and failures and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I've always wanted to do with my life, pretty much. Just like do all this kind of crazy stuff, and people are like, I don't understand why you went rock climbing up that mountain. And I'm like, I wanted to learn how to do it. I wanted to learn how to run the ropes. I wanted to learn how to lead climb. I wanted to learn how, you know, why did these guys use chalk? What's that all about? What are these weird shoes all about? What the, you know, and I've always looked at life that way. That's the way that I've always operated myself. Some of my other backstory is I'm a addict alcoholic in recovery. I have almost 4 years. I'm coming up on 4 years sober. Let's check in on the counter here. Hold on. Here we go. So let's not count all of our chickens before they are hatched. Today is 1,413 days sober. Ka-chow! Which is awesome, and I'm happy to say it's all been one day at a time, just working on not being a drunk or an addict or any of that, you know, just not doing that stuff and doing other stuff and doing meditation and going to meetings and talking to people and going to the shrinks and all that kind of crazy stuff, you know what I mean? So coming up on 4 years sober, which is freaking amazing, and if anybody out there is ever looking for help or anything that kind of stuff, always let me know. And I can help point you at least in some kind of direction. One of the biggest things that somebody asked me a while ago, they're like, well, I don't want to go to AA because it's like a religious place. Well, I guarantee you it's not a religious place. Oftentimes, they meet in like a church or something like that because it's free. So, but I would recommend anybody that's wanting to get sober, go to AA for like 3 months, check it out, get going, get started. A bunch of helpful people there that can just tell you what to do. Okay, so that's the way I got sober. I'm not saying it's the only way, but that's the way I did, and it worked wonders for me to definitely get going down the right road. Steve's right there saying he's at day 214 days sober, which is amazing, my man, Steven. Just keep working at it. Only day that you got to work on is today. We just keep working on it right now. We're going to keep going, and everything's going to be fine because we don't need to worry about tomorrow. We don't need to worry about yesterday. If we mess something up, we got to fix it and get moving on today. But other than that, always just remember, this is the only thing that we got to do right now is right now. So that's the thing. That's one of the biggest things that totally helped me. So that's that kind of stuff. So that hopefully that's like a quick explanation of the backstory. I didn't hit every single thing along the lines, along the lines of all the nonsense, right? But I constantly am like researching, learning as much as I can to do all that kind of stuff. So one of the reasons I'm hugely into aquariums is because aquariums to me encompass a lot of the things that I find to be really important. Part of the things that I'm working on here for our little urban farm that we have going here is building aquaponics systems. That's going to be happening more and more this year, which is going to be tons of fun. It's going to be so many cool videos on just either wild disasters or wild successes. You know what I mean? So, but one of the reasons I got so deeply back into aquariums from when I was a kid to the later on getting back into it, right, is because of the reason that I just got done explaining is that aquariums are a great way that you could possibly supply food. They're a great way to breed. They're a great way to learn about water quality. They're a great way to learn about lights, electricity, water pumps, plumbing, like all the agriculture of like growing things within a body of water and all that kind of stuff. So, and it's something that you can do year round, which is like, oh, I could plant some strawberries for like a 4-month period, but what am I doing the other 8 months, right? So, that's one of the big reasons that I got back into doing aquariums, because I was like, oh wow, people are growing plants in aquariums, and I have to admit, this is like probably 10 years ago at this point now that I got back into aquariums, right? I was a kid that had them for years and years and years when I was much younger. So probably a good 20 years when I was younger, and then maybe like probably like an 8-year gap or something in there. Yeah, something like that. I had like reptiles, like chameleons, turtles, fish, all sorts of stuff when I was a young guy, and then got out of it because, eventually you kind of go off to doing other things in the world, and you can't take your tanks with you or any of that kind of stuff. But probably it's about a little over a decade ago now, I started getting back into it. And as Beck M is saying there, it's your ecosystem approach that made me want to subscribe. Perfect. That's awesome. That's amazing. That's awesome. So hopefully some of the stuff that I'm doing sort of makes sense. And at times people, I think that at times people have gotten a little bit critical of me because I'm trying to relate, this to that and that to this. You know what I mean? I'm trying to interconnect everything so that I can start creating a system that works better than possibly just, getting a 10-gallon box, throwing some stuff in it, and just throwing a little filter on it, and then, okay, it's cool forever, right? So that's a lot of the stuff that I've been working on for years, and maybe a little backstory for some of the people that are new here. Let me get to answering some questions out of the chat, and it's kind of looking like we might just be going to the video portion a little bit early today. I don't know. Who are all these? What is all this? People are blowing me up over here. Oh, look at all them emails coming in. Oh, you guys, that's nice. Oh, we got Patreon emails coming in. Patreon emails are almost always good. Because they don't tell me if, like, I don't get a Patreon email if somebody stops patronizing. It's only if people are, if it's going better. They don't notify me of bad news. Which, somebody asked me a while ago, like, realistically, like, how many people drop off from the Patreon? It's we lose a lot of patronizers often. And I never mention who they are, or I do my best to never mention who they are. Sometimes I accidentally let slip once somebody, which was not on purpose. It was not on purpose, and it was not malicious. I was accidentally reading a bunch of the new people. So, and I accidentally read the wrong one. But yeah, we do have people come, people go. Patreon's a monthly thing, so it's just a once a month. But thank you everybody for emailing in and signing up today, which is cool. Just got a little update on some heirloom seeds that are coming in the mail, you guys. Get some heirloom seeds that are coming in the mail, and I'm super excited because it's finally warmed up out here to actually start some of our get some of our seed starters going, which can be a little bit boring at times, but hopefully I'll be able to keep that engaging for you guys if you guys are checking in with some of the gardening farming stuff, and hopefully I can keep that entertaining for you. I don't know. I'm sure somebody will let me know if it's boring as all get out, but I think it's better than just putting a put like a 24-hour camera on it, like a 24-hour feed. That would be funny. And just like, oh, we got the seeds planted and the 24-hour feed is up. That would be brutally hilarious if I was to go about it that way. That would be pretty funny. It would be terrible, but it would be funny. I don't know. Kind of a waste of, I think it would probably just be a waste of resources, I think, really. Oh, we've got a super chat here. Super chat alarm. From Eric Adams for $4.99 saying, thank you, Joel, and thank you, moderators, for making this wheel turn. Well, always a big thanks to the moderators. If you guys don't know who they are, we have a pretty small moderator team here, but we have a close-knit group that take a really good job moderating and making sure we don't have a bunch of stuff. What happened? What happened? What? What's going on? Oh. Flips Aqua Journal. Laptop issues. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Soapbox just had laptop issues. Oops, sorry. Okay, we're good. Let's see. Ultimate Fish Keeping Show says, I have to say, I like the technique you use when painting. How you just pour the paint on the wood and you spread it just using a squeegee. Gives it an awesomely smooth finish. Yes, it actually does. It is a great technique. And I agree. Definitely a great technique. Definitely does give it a smooth finish, that's sure. Always throw down a drop cloth ahead of time, though. Otherwise, you could end up with a disaster. And have a blowtorch around for those bubbles, Very, very helpful. Let's see. Oh, Meat Man, formerly Pork Slingers here. Hello. Good to see you, my man. Thanks for coming out. Fishing Key Largo says, love starting from seeds. Hurricane Irma messed me up. I usually start planting in mid-September and can grow through May, usually. Started way late this year, and I'm just now getting produce from plants. Oh. Well, let's see. Fishing Key Largo, you've got to be... Well, you can't be in Key Largo. That sounds backwards. That sounds backwards for Key Largo, because I think Key Largo is probably in the same hemisphere as me, right? Or am I just super confused? I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. What's up, Meat Man? Good to see you. Rick Templin, what's your tip for keeping a mono shrimp and cherry reds? Let's see. Rick, some hot tips for keeping a monos and red cherry shrimps is one of the biggest things that is going to be the easiest tip for amanos and cherries is just water consistency, okay? Oftentimes there are a lot of people that are shooting for a very specific pH, whereas amanos and cherries have a pretty wide variety, or a wide variance, not variety, sorry, a wide variance of pH and stuff like that they can handle. But the biggest tip that I could give you for Amanos is always remember that Amanos aren't going to breed unless you have 3 tanks, because you're going to need fresh water for them to get buried. You're going to need brackish water to get them to drop their eggs and their shrimplets to survive. And then you're going to need a little higher salinity in order for them to continue getting bigger. So just remember with the Amanos, the ones that you get that's all you're going to really have unless you do a pretty extensive breeding project. Now, cherry shrimp, on the other hand, they breed like crazy, but they will really only breed like crazy if you can do what I was saying before, and that's keep your water quality consistent. You can have like 6.6 pH as long as you keep it consistent. They will adapt to it, and it will be fine. You can have like 7.6 pH. They will adapt to it. It will be fine. Anything below 6, anything above 8 is going to be a little bit weird. But as long as you keep your water, your water parameters and your quality nice. I mean, obviously don't let ammonia get super high and all nutty, but as long as you keep them nice and consistent, they'll just go bananas, okay? The Amano shrimp will just eat up a bunch of stuff. They'll just keep growing. You can get them when they're like this big and they get huge if you keep them nice and consistent. Cherry shrimp, you can get a little bit off track because as the colony grows, you need to remember to feed more because they're breeding. There are more mouths to feed. That's the one big mistake that people make as their colony gets bigger and bigger and bigger. They never really increase how much they're feeding. So you are going to have to increase that. It obviously is small incremental amounts as the colony gets bigger because shrimp don't eat a lot of food. But it's one of the big things that I've noticed that people have made mistakes with cherry shrimp colonies is that you do need to up the food as you get more and more. But once they're kind of adapted to your water conditions versus if you keep the quality high and the conditions are the same and just consistently the same, you'll do fantastically. That would be the biggest tip that I could give you for Amano shrimp or cherry shrimps. And after that, sort of just let them go bananas and then sell the ugly ones. Always, as far as the cherry shrimp go, always sell the ugly ones. Yes. The ones that are poorly colored or whatnot. Sell those until you get a really high-grade bred, which shouldn't be too hard. You just basically take out the ugly ones and sell those off or put them somewhere where you want to breed them for food or something like that. But so JH Aquatics is saying, so should Amano shrimp just stay in a brackish environment? No. They full-grown Amanos should be in a freshwater tank. They should be in fresh water. When they get buried, they will move closer to the ocean area, basically, is the easiest way to explain it. It's obviously, it doesn't take 5 minutes, but they move closer to an estuary where there will be brackish water. That's where they normally throw their offspring. It's where they throw their babies. They throw them babies down there, and there's plenty of infusoria and all the little critters and things for those little fry shrimplets. There we go. How about we say shrimplets? And it just gives them an opportunity to be ready to go. And that added salinity is generally what keeps them going. Oh, I see a Shashwimi Whiskey in the chat. What's up, my man? I'm going to see you tomorrow, and we're going to hang out. Well, I don't know if we're going to hang out. We're going to have to work. But we've got to do the Real Fish Talk tomorrow. If no one has ever seen the Real Fish Talk, you can look it up. The Real Fish Talk. And you'll find it on YouTube. And you subscribe. And you watch all the episodes. And you laugh. And you laugh. And it's just me and Corey being goofballs talking about fish stuff. We like doing it. And so we're going to keep doing it. We don't know what our next guest is going to be. Because we just can't get anybody to really make a hard confirmation. So, most of the people that we really want to have on there are just super busy. It's just really what it boils down to. So, Oh, the Fishy Life is asking, what are some good stem plants besides Ludwigia, Wisteria, and Bacopa? Hygrophilia comes to mind. Pogostemon comes to mind also. Let's see, you could get hygro, like for sure. Ludwigia is my favorite stem plant. So let's keep that straight. I think my second favorite would be hygro, the skinny variety. What is that called? Willow hygro, is what normally people call that. So I would do that. Savannah Aqualama says purple kabamba is a great stem plant. I hate purple kabamba personally. I hate kabamba altogether. It's just milfoil, in my opinion. I know it's not. So relax. Don't try to murder me, internet. Okay? I know it's not. But it's just too much like milfoil. It drives me nuts. It grows all bananas, and I'm not a big fan. So let's see. Bare Bottoms Aquarium says, when you have the flu or sick, is it dangerous for you or your fish to work on tanks? Let's see. Well, I mean, just the personal danger that if you have the flu and you're working on your tanks, it certainly could be a dangerous environment for you to get injured. That's for sure. Probably not thinking right. Probably got a fever, got all this kind of stuff. If you're asking about possible spreading of it, I would imagine that pretty much something with a freshwater aquarium that's sitting right around, 78 degrees, 80 degrees, a lot of moisture, all that kind of stuff. There is potential for the influenza to get spread there. That is a fairly good environment, but I'm not a doctor, and I certainly wouldn't claim to be a doctor or know anything necessarily in regards to that, other than just the sort of broad knowledge that I have of bacteria and that kind of stuff. So you could have a potential for that, that being a bad idea. But if you do have the flu, I would highly recommend just take that 24-hour period to get yourself to be non-contagious, and then fight through the rest of it and get that stuff done after that 24 hours. This is that time of year where a lot of people are getting sick. It has been definitely going around here. I think about a week and a half ago, I had the flu thing over the weekend. Niz the One says your immune system will be weak. Be aware of cuts on the hands. Well, I think realistically most people should. Oftentimes, if you're not using like a tool, like planting tweezers or something like that, I would always recommend people to just get a box of like nitrile gloves. If you're going to be doing like moving rocks and all that kind of stuff, and your hands are under the water for a long period of time, they start to kind of prune up. They do get cut a little bit easier. That kind of stuff, I would consider just wearing some gloves for that. I'm not too worried about that personally, and I constantly have cuts on my hands and arms and all that kind of stuff. I'm always working out in my shop and doing all sorts of stuff like that. So I'm personally not concerned by it. I know some people have gotten infections or whatnot, but I think it'd be really difficult to pinpoint exactly where people are getting, if somebody was getting an infection or this or that, whether it's just from just the standard stuff that you're around, versus like a fish tank, whether it actually came from your fish tank or something. I know there has been some paranoia around that kind of stuff, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. Derek Runyon is asking, what is the best number of chickens to start out with? I would highly recommend starting out with 5. And depending on your family size, so let's say you had like 6 kids or something like that, you might want to start with a bigger flock. But, standard issue, let's say let's say a mom, a pop, and a kid. Let's just say a family of 3, right? Let's just say that. I would start out with a little flock of 5, even if it's just you and someone else, or even you by yourself. 5 would be a good number to start at. 3 is not enough chickens. They start getting confused. 4 is just weird. 5 would be the way to go. We actually started with 6. Initially, our first little flock was 6 chickens, and it's been growing since then. Obviously, it's not going to grow much past what it is now because I can't even keep track if there's 11 or 12, as highlighted earlier into the show when I was like, how many do I got? I would start with 5, possibly 6. Vicky and I did notice that they do overproduce for 2 people. I guess in America, it might be a little different somewhere else, but in America, we were just ending up with too many eggs with just the 2 of us. Even though now it's only the 2 of us and we have many more chickens, we do disperse. We disperse eggs about to people we know that need eggs. So, yeah, I would certainly start with 5 or 6. It's manageable for sure. You can build a small coop. You don't need too much of a yard. As far as the yard goes, you probably only need like probably 400 square feet, something like that. So a 20 by 20, which it's not a huge amount of space to dedicate for them if you still have a dog or whatever that you need your backyard for. But it's always good to segregate your chickens. Well, not segregate them, but separate them. Segregate's totally the wrong word. Separate your chickens from the main area of your yard, because they do go hog wild with sort of tearing up flower beds, chewing up things and stuff like that. So Charlie List says he started with 6 chickens and ended up with 2 dozen. Yeah, that's pretty much how it works. But they're great. Not only are they a great pet to get, not that you could pick them up. I mean, you can pick them up and like pet them a little bit, but you do run the risk of getting salmonella. But if you have fish tanks and stuff like that, you know to wash your hands and that kind of stuff and not put stuff in your mouth. You know what I mean? Don't be like me. Don't bite your plants. Don't use your teeth to trim them. But you do run the risk of getting salmonella and stuff like that from your chickens if you're not really paying attention to what you're doing, which really only requires a tiny bit of paying attention. It's not that big of a deal. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to just trail off and go, yeah. All right, I did get some, but right before we go to the video portion of the show here, I did get some questions because I did mention that we are going to the hold on, what's it called? The Live Bearers of America. What is it? Live Bearers Association of America meeting. Oh, crumb. Let's see. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Where did it go? I don't even have it here. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, I think I found it. Oh, American Live Bearer Association. There it is. American Live Bearer Association Convention number 2018. Which will be May 4th through 6th in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Okay? I've gotten some sort of cryptic messages from some people about whether or not they'll be able to meet me there. Yes, there will be there will for sure be some meet and greet time spent there. As I think most everybody involved between the 3 people that are going, which is me and Corey and Jimmy, the 3 of us that are going, our big thing is the Fish Fam, meeting you guys, being able to spend time, impart some some humor, some good times, some hellos, and some knowledge. You know what I mean? So there will definitely be some meets and greets time spent there. May 4th through the 6th, Grand Rapids, Michigan. And by the way, you know, if you're gonna buy stuff from the coop, go through that link. Yeah. See that terrible tie-in? Let's go to the video. I'm tired of just looking at my goofy face. I want to go to the video. Here we go. Video time. Video time. What's that? It's a sump. It's a sump. It's my sump. During the show, somebody posted, "It's amazing how expensive sumps are for the little that they do." Oh, hold on. Wait. I was trying to pause it right here. Hold on. Pause. There we go. Okay. Can I engage the whiteboard? Yes, the whiteboard. Okay. Yeah. Oh, we're going bright green today on the whiteboard. Yeah. Look at that. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Okay. So here's my chambers here. In my sump. There's actually a fourth one here behind where I'm at. Hello. Behind me, right there. So we got 1, 2, 3, and a cuatro. Yes. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Yes. So we got 4 chambers in the sump there, and I feel like I may be off base here, but each one of those chambers probably holds about 3 times the amount of water volume that most canister filters have. So I'm basically looking at operating like 12 canister filters ostensively, okay? Not specifically, ostensively, just based on the fact that I have this much volume, this much space. I can do a lot of stuff. I have it open-ended, great oxygen exchange. It's working very well. And this sump right here, I actually got used for like $100. Okay, so I think cost versus performance on this is amazing. You know, because the tank didn't go bad. The sump tank itself didn't go bad. It's just the guy didn't want to. He didn't want it anymore, and it was like selling it off. I got it for $100. Great deal. This sump has been operating for me for like 6 years. 6 years, I think. Fantastically well, even though it was missing parts and stuff when I got it. But the tank is doing fantastically. Filters like a champ. I got tons of media area and all that kind of stuff. Plus, I can keep my plants in here. All my extra plants while I'm rescaping and all that kind of stuff. I can keep them all in here, and I love it. I love it. I think it's great. And people that think it's too expensive, well, maybe I can understand if you're buying a brand new one. So, but this one I got used, $100, really nothing. We looked at buying a FX6, which is like $350 the other day, and I don't even think an FX6 would really do what this sump does. So, you know, let's just keep that in mind. Oh, did you hear the beeping noise? You're darn right I got an electrical tester in my pocket. I always do, and it beeps. Sorry. All right. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I posted the wrong link. Hold on. Let me copy this one. Oh, look at me being all semi-pro, you know? That's semi-pro, you guys. There we go. If you guys are going to go through and order from Aquarium Co-op, my buddy Corey, who... Hey, truth be told, I order from Corey, okay? I posted a video this last weekend that was me. I ordered 250 fish from the guy. 250 Raminos tetras, okay? So, I order from the guy. Yeah. So, but if you're going to, just tell him it was me that sent you over there by going through the little link. And then he'll be like, oh, you're not totally useless, you bum. And he won't whip me relentlessly, you know. Oh, Kevin Keener's on the road. He's missing the whiteboard. No worries. You can always check out the whiteboard on the replay, Kevin. And no worries at all. Okay. Eriocaulon Vietnam. That is the plant that we're working on with today, which can be considered an amazingly difficult plant, which I will admit, it probably is a little bit of an advanced plant. But, you know, when I first got into taking care of these, probably 7 years ago, something like that, they were rarer than hen's teeth. You just could not get a hold of them. The only guy that I knew to get a hold of them from was Tom Barr, and at the time, he wasn't even really shipping them, but luckily, back then, I managed to get my hands on a couple of them that he had shipped up to Seattle at the time. He had put together a big group of them and sent them up to Seattle so that they could be sold for charity, actually, for a fundraiser thing. And I happened to get some of those. And so if you go back and look at some of my super old videos, you can actually see some Aereo that I was growing back then, and it was kind of a big deal. I was constantly fielding questions about them, like where do I get them, where do they come from? They actually mainly come from Australia, which is one of the big reasons they were so rare for so long, because you can't like get anything in or out of Australia. You know, it's just one of those things. It's a heavily regulated country that has had all sorts of problems with the lack of regulation for a long period of time, with their wildlife and their environmental care and all that kind of stuff. So they have a lot of regulations now, which is pretty important because they've seen definitely the bad downside of missing out on those types of regulations of things coming in. But the Eriocaulon now is pretty common. You can find it, and it's not super crazy. These ones I actually got from Colin Knudsen, who is a local, I guess, plant celebrity or whatnot. The guy does amazing aquascapes. The dude is awesome, rad, and I think you can even order some of these probably from, I think he has like an online thing. I don't know. I'm not well versed in whatever it is he does, other than I'm just kind of a fan of just the great scapes that he puts together, and he pretty regularly is selling plants on like local Facebook pages and stuff like that. But he does come to some of the little plant sales, plant swaps, those kinds of things. And as far as I know, I think he'll be at the GSAS, the big Greater Seattle Aquarium Society thing, as far as I know. But I am not him, and I'm not trying to put words in his mouth or anything like that. That's just where I got these from. So if anybody was wondering where I got them from, that's where I got them. I got them quite a while ago, maybe, I don't know. Looking at the calendar right now, I think it was maybe late August. So is there a possibility I could do some math here? Hello? Can I come through and do some of the math for you guys? 6-7 months ago, something like that, which feels like an eternity ago, but that actually is not that long. But, okay. So I got these, and they were ready to split just a little while ago, but I just wasn't, I just didn't want to pull them out of the dirt. I didn't want to pull them out of the substrate. Sorry, I didn't mean to misspeak and say dirt. I don't have dirt in my aquariums. I have substrate. The substrate, I didn't want to get them out of the substrate. I didn't want to pull them out and split them at the time just because I had other projects to do. And so they started to send up their little seed pods, which means it's time to start to intervene. Because if they go completely to seed and actually break the top of the water, basically like they break out into the air and actually seed up at that point, they won't continue to live after that. They are a really weird plant that way. If they go all the way to flower and to seed, they're like, that's it, we're done here, business adjourned, and they'll just die. So kind of sucks if you sort of miss the boat on splitting them and getting them broke off before that happens. But luckily my tanks are pretty deep because they're pretty darn big, so it does take quite a bit of time for them to actually grow up high enough. As you can see here, they're only 3-4 inches, and they're still 1.5 before they could even get to the water line. So they probably weren't going to make it there anyhow. But I have seen them grow that high before if you just really don't... if you really just don't take care of them. But they are a bit of a pain to split. Right there in the video, you see me screw one up. I got it out of there. I didn't cut it. But what it does is so it basically has a center kind of plant, and then it starts to kind of grow these sort of runner type little sproutlet plants. And you have to pull it out of the substrate in order to actually identify what's going on with it. But it's basically splitting and propagating, but it won't grow laterally at all. It'll just grow into this goofy ball that just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And then you'll still just be reliant on only having one plant. So at the very middle here, there's sort of a solid stem, like a stalk that's in between the roots. And you're going to have to kind of break away each of these little plantlets that are kind of growing out of the sides and stuff like that in order to split it so that you can propagate it and spread it out. So I started out with 3 of these. By the end of the split, I think I have 9 or maybe 11. I can't remember exactly. This was earlier today, you guys, so I can't be expected to remember everything that happened earlier today, right? Like, come on, man. Am I supposed to be able to remember like 4 hours ago? You know, that's a while. That's a while. You know what I mean? So, I don't remember an exact count, but most of them split into at least 3. So let's just say 9, and that'll be conservative. But we take 3, we turn them into 9, which is awesome. And they're going to definitely fill out a lot more space, which is great. Oh, my. What's happening in the chat? My man Cichlid Bro! Yeah, man. One of our long-lost moderators. He's not lost. He just was busy. He was up busy snowboarding on the mountain, shredding it up. Letting all them snow bunnies know what it's all about. The Cichlid Bro is back from his renovation and snowboarding adventures. He's been renovating his home. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. So, Miss Mellow Moogle got a brand new gig, and by happenstance, Mr. Cichlid Bro is back himself. It's Kismet. We will survive. Because I tell you, last thing we want to do is go on another search for another moderator. Because I think our moderator team is big enough. They come, they go, they come, they go. And Mr. Cichlid Bro is back, and it's fantastic. Sup? But we have a $2 super chat here from Stevel Knievel, which is one of my favorite. One of my favorite names so far, saying, sorry I'm late. I had some tank issues. Well, hey, don't let the live stream get in the way of you know, a potential flood or something. You can always watch it later on the replay, like a lot of people like to catch up and watch them on the replays and pause it and come and go as they please. And we appreciate all of the subscribers and watchers and listeners and all that. Thank you very much, you guys. It's good to show up. You know what I mean? So, but thanks for the super chat. It's very much appreciated. It all goes back into producing shows, producing content, doing all the stuff that we need to do. We're slowly but surely getting closer and closer to some goals that may or may not be wildly important to some people or not. Who knows? But we're getting closer and closer to some big-time goals, which could be really cool. Uh-oh. Candy Overall says she's still here. I just can't link today because of the chemo. And if y'all are wondering what Candy Overhauls is talking about, if you haven't been here before and you don't know who Caleb is our #1 fan, okay? Caleb is our #1 fan. He is our 7-year-old #1 fan, straight out of Montana. He's got that childhood leukemia. You know, some people out there are talking about lemons for leukemia. Some people are doing this. Some people are doing that. Hey, we've been working on the Caleb overhauls. We talk about it during the live show here. Caleb overhauls. Check him out on the GoFundMe. We probably have some cool people like myself that will post the GoFundMe into the chat. If you guys missed Friday's show, how about Friday's show for having just a little bit of inspiration of some of the Fish Fam stuff? We got we had some sponsors last week who are matching our fundraiser, and we just starting to hammer it home. We're getting closer and closer. We're at 27,000 of the 40,000 goal to help cover all the leukemia costs, all the chaos, all the horse shit, the nonsense. Oh, pardon my language. Sorry. All the nonsense that goes into leukemia and fighting leukemia and figuring out what we're doing to get through that, because we're trying to help out this young family, young man, Caleb Overhauls, who's in chemo today. And not to mention the fact that they got to drive, not to mention the fact that they have to drive from Montana to Colorado in order to get his treatment and stuff. And just how much is going into all that. And much appreciated to all of the awesome people that are contributing to the GoFundMe. It's amazing, and I'm inspired by it. You know what? I'm so inspired that I washed my pants this week. You know what I mean? So, which is just next level. You know what I mean? That's the next level move. Okay, I'm just goofing around about washing my pants. I wash my pants every week anyhow. It's a dumb joke. It's because I always wear dirty pants. Even when they're clean, even when they're clean, I'm like, what? Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to say that, guys. But I was raised. My grandma said that's not a swears. So, you know. Although my mom says that is, so. But, you know, listen to Grandma if it's more convenient, right? So, much appreciate everybody that's kicking in on the GoFundMe. We're doing so well. We're getting so close to you know, hitting the goal and really just knocking that thing out of the park. And at the very least, you know, at the very least, we're going to you know, help alleviate some of the amazing amount of stress that Caleb's family is dealing with to just try and get through this this traumatic time and just keep moving forward. You know, I look forward to the day, you know, 100, 300 years from now, when Caleb and I are, you know, we got to go shoulder to shoulder. We got to go shoulder to shoulder against the people that are the space invaders that are trying to take us down. And, you know, we got to go out there with our broadswords and our shields shoulder to shoulder against the space invaders and, you know, fight the good fight. 'Cause America, right? All right. I'm on a weird, ridiculous tangent. Let's get back to Eriocaulon. But we're working on that, that Patreon. That's really what we're all about here. You know what I mean? So. Let's see. What? I read something. Wait. I read something in the chat here. Where did it go? Oh, Sigler Bro is asking about the 20,000-gallon fish tank. Yes, that's our big-time goal on the Patreon. If you've been to the Patreon, that is our big-time goal, to try and get one of those 20,000-gallon aquariums that we can actually tour it around. It's one of the cool things about it is that it'll actually fit up on a semi, so we can actually take it from town to town, take it to convention and convention. Obviously, that's like a crazy long-term goal, but hey, that's what we're trying to do. Johnny Zelaya. Oh, there we go. Zelaya. Johnny Zelaya. Hey, how you doing? Says, Joel, I keep finding water around the bottom of my tank. What do you think it could be? It sounds like a leak, man. Sounds like a leak if you keep finding water around the bottom of your tank, or if you're like just if you're super messy or something, and every time you go in there, you're just splashing water all over the place, like kind of crazy like. Could be that, but it sounds like you have a leak somewhere, and you're going to have to go ahead and locate that. Bracken is asking, anyone in chat want to tell me what species he has? I want to get some, but I don't know which to get, and I like his. I hope you're talking about the Eriocaulon, because this is Eriocaulon Vietnam. It's actually in the title. I put it in the title, man. So hopefully that's an answer to the question that you were asking. But you know, let's see here. The Turtle Girl is here. So hashtag hello, hashtag Oceaneers. What's this I'm hearing about, Caleb? Yes. Fish Tank says hello. Well, hello, Fish Tanks. That's quite the name. Let's see here. The D. Thomas CG with a $5 super chat. Started using Twizzle Twazzles for the first time. Not easy as you make it look. Tips for getting stem plants to stay down before they are rooted. Yes, actually. So if you turn your tweezers so that you have so if they're going down like this. Do I have any right here? Hold on. Sometimes I have them right here. I'm not seeing any on my desk. Normally I have some on my desk. But I got some scissors here. All right, I'm going to hold up these scissors. Maybe this will work. So if you come down to the end and then you have that part that does like a 30 degree, you want it like that. And if you had the stem, you'd want to grab that. Then you go into the substrate straight down like this. Push it all the way down to the bottom of the tank, then turn it, then like drag it at a 90 degree, then release, then pull the tweezers out. Pull those tweezers back out. Hopefully that explains it. I don't know. Hopefully that was worth $5 but thank you for the super chat. Hopefully that was an explanation that's like worth $5. But you basically want to go all the way down and then drag it, do a little bit of a 90 and then let go. So maybe a centimeter, maybe 1 inch, something like that. I don't know, metric, standard. If anybody be able to come down with that. Let's see. Yeah, Joel, what's your substrate? So I don't know. Somebody's gonna have to super chat that substrate. Andrew Crankshaw is asking what substrate you got going on in there. Pretty much a little bit of everything. A lot of fluorite. Fluorite's kind of the mainstay. A lot of Eco-Complete, a lot of Fluval Stratum in there. It's pretty much a mishmash of every sort of planted substrate you can think of. Yeah, there's Eco-Complete. Yeah, fluorite. Yep. Stratum, yep. Pretty much every kind of substrate is in that aquarium. It's a little bit funky looking. Some people seem to enjoy it. I don't even know if I enjoy it, but it grows really well. I've had a ton of it for a long time. It's basically a mishmash from all these crazy projects. You know, at one point in time, I had all these tiny tanks set up side by side with all the different substrates to see what they would do. It's basically the 240 is just, especially from all these 40-gallon breeders I had for a really long time. I had all these experiments in these 40-gallon breeders. I got all the substrate out of those, mixed them all up, and a bunch of it is in the 240s. Who said who? Aqua. Corvus is running CO2 in acrylic tank. Okay. I don't understand why I keep getting this question from anybody about CO2 being bad for acrylic. Somebody tell me why this question keeps coming up. I do not understand it. I do not understand. I want to know the source. And more often than not, when I ask you guys where the source of weird information is coming from, you guys will normally tell me who it is, not just the person who's commenting. There's probably a video out there that says this, And so I would... Yeah, so Mr. B's Fishing Things has a perfect explanation there. If it was, air would hurt it. Okay, there is between 10 and 20 times the amount of CO2 in the air than in water, okay? If CO2 was going to hurt acrylic, it being in the air would be worse than it be submerged. So... who said who Aqua says? I think I heard it on the podcast. It's certainly not from me, and I don't think from Corey, and I don't think if I was in the same room I would have. Corey did it? Okay. Okay. Well, if it was Corey, I would like to find out. Okay. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I don't know. If it, yeah, I don't know. If it was an issue, there's way more people, or there's way more CO2 in the air than there is in water. So it would be, the acrylic would just be falling apart, and we wouldn't be using acrylic. But acrylic is, it's wildly, substantial. It's good stuff. Dan Squires says, my mother was told you couldn't use heaters in acrylic tanks by the UK pet supermarket. Oh, that's crazy. Well, I use heaters in my acrylic tanks all the time. I inject CO2 into I inject CO2 into my acrylic CO2 what's the word I'm looking for here? Oh gosh, what's the name? What am I? What's this stupid thing called? Oh, my brain train just went off the tracks. What's it? The diffuser, reactor. There we go. Reactor is the word I'm looking for. Okay. I constantly inject CO2 into my my reactors, which are made out of acrylics. So it would be crazy if I was going to make a reactor and then murder it with CO2. Yeah, it would be really, really counterproductive to do that. So, no, acrylic is not affected by CO2. So, yeah, everyone's got it. Everyone's got it in the chat. Thanks, guys. Sickle Bro uses CO2 to fall asleep. Oh, that's a good, smooth word. Who said who Aqua says, I swear I heard it on one of the podcasts. I might have misheard something. Okay. Yeah. Hey, man, that's all good. We've all heard stuff wrong. I just really would like to know where the source was. If it's, it's just one of those things. Like, I would like to know where it's coming from, because if it's somebody I know, I could contact them and be like, dude, what are you doing? But yeah, that would be inaccurate. That Sickle Bro uses carbon monoxide to fall asleep. If that was the case, you'd be dead, my guy. So, not true. The wife doesn't want to resuscitate you every night. LG3 Nation with a $5 super chat saying, I heard that CO2 is beneficial for acrylic tanks. Is this true? Yes, for $5, it is beneficial for acrylic tanks. Yes, for sure. We've, of course, been sidebarred. We've been completely sidetracked from our feature plant here of the show on a Monday. Mr. Chips. Oh, here comes Mr. Chips. Y'all got him excited with your super chats. He's coming over here. What are you doing, buddy? You need to come up here? You need to come up here. I'm doing the show right now. Are you sure you need to come up here right now? Yes, you do. Okay. All right. Hey, man. I respect your doggy wishes, my man. Come on. Come on. Up. Here we go. Whoa. Oh, I could tell. He's Rocket Dog. He's hungry. I can tell. He just jumped up here like 100 million powerful beasts. So much power, my man. They must be hungry for dinner. That's what he's doing. He only does this. He gets super excited when he's hungry for dinner. Yeah, my guy. What are you doing? You guys, Mr. Chips is my buddy. We're good. We're best friends. We're best good friends. He's the best good friend that anyone could ever have. Well, here we go. So, Eriocaulon Vietnam. I think we've talked about it a little bit. We could continue to talk about it. It is it's a little bit weird to propagate, but not the weirdest, not the most difficult. But I think that it has been pretty problematic. It's been pretty problematic for a lot of people to get it to propagate. So hopefully this video is explaining it, and I haven't seen really that many questions. Chicken Lips 2 says there was a recent video that showed how silicone crazed acrylic. Possibly that was what they were referring to. Silicone will for sure craze acrylic. And if you don't know what acrylic crazing is, you could definitely look that up. It's very important. You do not want to craze your acrylic. It will, it's like 100% bad news. It will start to fall apart from that. But that's a chemical reaction, which is almost the same chemical reaction as the glue. If improperly gluing acrylic, it will craze also. Or under extreme stress and pressure, it'll craze the same way. Flips Aqua Journal is saying carbonic acid doesn't hurt acrylic, which is what you get in small amounts when bubbling CO2 through water. Yeah, agreed. Kevin Keener says you could start building acrylic sumps and charge a premium because your sumps are CO2 safe. Oh, that's a good point. Could do that. These are CO2 safe. Speaking of sumps and potentially building some sumps, I have a meeting tomorrow night that might be super cool. So I'd pay attention to Wednesday's show. I might have some good news. I might have no news. But at the very least, I'll be able to tell you guys about what it is and what's going on. But I have a meeting tomorrow night about some potentially really cool stuff and potentially nothing. So I'm looking forward to that interaction, and so you guys gotta ask me about it. You guys gotta ask me about it on Wednesday. You gotta hammer that home. Charlie List was saying I can't afford acrylic. Well, agreed. You know, oftentimes like brand new acrylic is quite expensive and can't be, you know, it's just not in the budget for a lot of people. But like I said, with the acrylic sump that I have on this aquarium right here, I actually picked it up secondhand from somebody that just didn't want it anymore, and it was only about $100, which if I wanted to put the equivalent footprint on that one would be a 90-gallon. If I wanted to put a 90-gallon under the 240 here, it would have cost about $100 to buy a brand new 90-gallon tank, glass tank to put underneath there. So, could have been problematic. Could have been problematic. Janice Murphy, fact or fiction? Oxygen is depleted or lowered as floating plants cover most to all the surface area of a tank. Refers to a comment I heard made about duckweed. There's a possibility that could be true, but you'd really have to find an actual study behind that before I would agree with it, because typically floating plants and stuff like that are in an aquarium that has a lot of plants in them. Plus, they're going to release oxygen after they've photosynthesized through the rest period. You're also blocking out a lot of light, so you know, a lot of what could potentially be using up oxygen during the day. You know, I really wouldn't worry about it that much, but you could realistically have, you know, the surface area is still going. The surface area of the water, even if it's coated in duckweed, is still going to do a gas exchange if you do have a little bit of flow in there. So I really wouldn't worry about that much. But if somebody had a study that they were referring to or whatever, I could definitely look over it and see what was going on. But I wouldn't think so. Who Said Who Aqua says, I just set up a 5-gallon, no filter and no CO2, no light tank on your windowsill with a beta about 2 weeks ago. It's all about fun and learning the ecology of the planted aquarium. Yeah, go read the Wallstad method if that's what you're trying to do. Diana Wallstad is the captain and originator of that, and she very great book that's been around forever. If anyone else is being attributed to have come up with that style of aquarium, they're lying and they're making up a story. Diana Wallstad method, she is the one who came up with that. And mad props to her. I hope to meet her someday. It would be cool. It would be really cool to meet her. The one time she was doing a meet and greet in town, I actually was at work and couldn't actually go out and actually meet her. So I was kind of bummed about that, but just nothing could be done at the time. Couldn't move anything around. I was the only guy that could show up and do the work. So but hope to meet her someday, but definitely check out her book if you've never read it. So let's see here. Got to check in on the old fundraiser here. Oh wow, you guys are coming in hot. You guys are coming in hot on the old GoFundMe fundraiser. Thanks, guys. I know that Candy appreciates it. I know that Caleb appreciates it. I appreciate it also. You guys are dope. It's great. Let's see. Oh, Frank Dominguez just showing up super late. Oh, what is going on there? Nick Becker says, yo, first time on a live video. Should I get a power head for my heavily planted 30-gallon? How can I determine if it is needed? If you need additional flow within your aquarium, if you're finding detritus, little flakes of poop and stuff like that, landing on things that shouldn't have detritus on them would be the best way to find out if you actually need some flow or not. Essentially, it's the easiest way to recognize as a person is that you can start to look around at the aesthetic of what's going on in your aquarium. If you have leaves covered in dust and stuff like that, then you may need to increase flow a little bit, and it might be beneficial for you to get a power head. Back in the day, instead of running into a reactor, I used to run my CO2 into a power head, because not only would it help give me a little bit of flow around my aquarium, which I was looking for, it would disperse the CO2 like crazy. So that could be a benefit if you have a planted aquarium, and maybe you're going, well, I don't know if I want a power head. That might be something that could help you out with wanting to do a power head, right? You're like, hey, I get a double whammy here. I get to diffuse my CO2 and to get a little bit of flow. So hopefully that answers your question. Thanks for showing up for your first time to the show. Michael Davis is asking, 75-gallon with one Amazon puffer. Do you think 20 cherry barbs would be enough to mitigate nipping, or is it a bad idea all around? You have a 75 with one Amazon puffer, and you want to add some cherry barbs. Okay, I'm getting it now. So you want to add some cherry barbs. Do you think 20 is going to be enough? I would say 20 is probably fine. But I don't know if you're asking if you want to mitigate fin nipping from the barbs or fin nipping from the puffer, because typically the puffer just won't care about other fish, realistically, unless they're other really big fish. Most puffers just don't really care about small fish. Now, that doesn't mean 100% of the time, just because I said it. Was there a... Oh, there's a super chat. Oh, okay. I'll get to that in just a second. So that doesn't mean 100% of the time. That just means most of the time puffers don't care about other smaller fish. So even if you did the rummy nose tetras like I did, the puffers are just kind of ambivalent. They're like, whatever, that little guy, I don't care. Not a big deal, you know? So I would definitely just worry about... I wouldn't worry so much about that. I would just worry about making sure you have a big enough group of the barbs to not be nipping at each other. So hopefully that answers that. Uh-oh, we have a question. We have a question from Karen Pepe that says, I picked up a plant today, and the guy said it is called African onion. It seems to have a bulb-type base and narrow rippled leaves. It sounds like a Ponageton of some kind, for sure. So I'd look up a Ponageton and then figure out the type from there. So if you do a gurgle search, if you do the gurgling search straight into the Google gaggle, you might probably be able to come up with probably a picture of what you're looking for, and then you can cross-reference that against the scientific site. Jeff Rose Fish Keeping is asking, Joel, is it safe to use CO2 in your Patreon? Yes, it is safe to use it in the Patreon. We have shirts for that also, just in case you're needing a shirt to keep you warm while you CO2 at the Patreon, and you just start patronizing like crazy. Speaking of patronizing like crazy, the fishy mailman came in big. Oh, hold on, Mr. Chips. Whoa, big sneeze, huh, buddy? Yeah, buddy. I had a big sneeze there, guys. So, coming up on the last 10 minutes of the show, I might as well switch back to the big scene here so you guys can... Come on, Duty. Come say hi to everybody. Come on, buddy. I got you. I got you. Whoa. Mr. Duty. He can't... Okay, I got you. Are you ready? Oh, he wants me to hold his feet. There's Mr. Chips. Say hi. Woof, woof. Mr. Chips. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. Okay, sorry, man. I was lifting you up weird. It's weird. I don't ever lift you up that way. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the main screen here. That was weird. But anyhow, Fishy Mailman with a $5 super chat saying, I gave my super chat money to Caleb today. Other than this, do so work, Fish Fam. I don't understand. I think your phone got weird there at the end. But thank you, Fishy Mailman, for the $5 super chat, and thank you for contributing to Caleb and also sponsoring Caleb for the Patreon producer credit this month. And Caleb's video is coming out very, very soon, which big shout out to my boy Caleb. My boy, not my son. He's not my boy. Chips is my son. Mr. Chips. Mr. Chips is my son. And so my boy Caleb, thank you for donating in there and chipping in, man. It's amazing. It's amazing to see what's it's amazing to see what a big group of people can do, you know, and it's just awesome. It's just awesome. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, you guys. All right, Beck M is asking, why is my parva melting in my high-tech tank and not my low-tech tank? Too much light for it? That is a possibility. I would double-check what the water parameters are different. And oftentimes, in a high-tech tank, you'll have fertilizer deficiencies. Like, you'll be missing certain fertilizers and things, which will make certain plants melt off, which is typically a clue that you can start to kind of back follow and go like, what deficiency do I have? Seems to be potassium. Okay. So I've got some plants maybe in a high-tech tank that are just chewing up potassium super fast, right? And I'm not speaking specifically about your tank situation. One of the great places to post about this stuff would be like the Patreon, because you can post pictures, you can post a long description of exactly what's going on. People can mull through it. We could talk about testing for different things or what kind of fertilizer using, that kind of stuff. We can get in a real long form on there. With many brains working on it, it's way more helpful. But the first thing I've come to mind from your question is that oftentimes in a high-tech tank, something is getting used up really quickly because a lot of light means a lot of growth, a lot of CO2, a lot of growth. Things are getting used. So that's what that's what I would look into. And there's a possibility, there's at least 10 remedies that you could be going for this. Some of you guys know that I started using Easy Green a while back from the Aquarium Co-op, which has helped for a couple little deficiencies that I was getting here and there, and kind of bumped my growth just a little bit, which it is not crazy fast or anything like that, but it was going a little bit slower than I like, so we'll kind of ramp it up just a little bit. Not go crazy, just a little bit, and it's working perfectly for me right now. I'm using actually a half dose from the recommended, and it's working out great for me. I'm not saying that that's going to work out for everybody out there. Everyone's water's different and all that kind of stuff. So Beck M is using Thrive right now, so I'll start running through the micros. Yeah, I would definitely start checking what is going on. More often than not, you'll see a plant melt off like that because there's some kind of specific deficiency if something is getting used up, you know, too rapidly by probably something else that's, you know, more established, you know. Someone's asking, is it okay if I de-rim a 10-gallon? You can do whatever you want to your aquariums. I'm not recommending to do anything other than what the manufacturer says, though. I'm not going to say it's okay, and then you flood your house and blame it on me. So, no, I don't recommend it, but feel free to do whatever you like to do. Karen Pepe says, Mike from Aqua Pros has videos on removing rims. Yep, there are a lot of videos out there, and Mike is definitely one of them. My boy Mike, where is he? I don't know. Hopefully we'll be hanging out again soon, but we'll see when that happens, because it's a bit of a drive, you know what I mean? It's a pretty long distance. I was trying to get him to come up on the Real Fish Talk again, but, you know, who knows if he'll actually do it. He's a busy man. He's a busy man. Does anybody see his desert tank? I like that. I like that desert tank. That was pretty dope. I was glad to get a chance to check out his little desert tank. I liked it. I think it was cool. What is this? What is this thing doing? What the? All right. Cool. All right, let's see here. We got the last 5 minutes, so we got to get him in here real quick. We're going to the lightning round. Oh, message retracted. Oh, man, what happened? Turtle Girl says, in other words, Joel shall not be held responsible for any damage, man, beast, or property should something happen. Yeah. You know, I would just buy a rimless tank. You know what I mean? I've de-rimmed tons of aquariums myself, personally. Sometimes they get broken. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they get broken. Sometimes they don't. You know, I've built rimless aquariums. More often than not, the tanks that aren't built rimless are typically either the glass is too thin or the silicone isn't strong enough because it's not designed to be utilized that way. So I would either build one myself, which I used to build those 60-gallon frag tanks, which they're 48 inches long by 24 inches front to back and 12 inches tall. So I used to build those, but I would make those completely out of plate glass. It was really thick. It was rated to do that, and use all the products that were rated to do that. Whereas, you know, fish tanks that have bracing built all on them, oftentimes they're built so that the bracing would never be taken off. So sometimes they survive, sometimes they don't. It's up to you if you want to take the chance. There's a lot of companies out there now that make rimless tanks, so I would probably just get one of those. We have a very important announcement here, you guys. We have a very important announcement from Chicken Lips. With a 555 super chat coming in here in the last 4 minutes of the show. Anybody's got to get their super chats in, do it now. Because Chicken Lips got one in, and it's very important. We got a very important message. 555 super chat saying, made it to the post office in time to pick up my package from the co-op that I got through your cough, cough, affiliate link. Oh, well, thank you very much, you guys. Like I said, Corey's my boy. That's my buddy. Great guy. Great community guy. Great company. Great products. All those kinds of things. I don't think it's really a mystery that I endorse the Aquarium Co-op just because they're awesome. You know, head through the link if you guys are going to buy something from them. And you know what? It lets you know. It doesn't let you know. It lets Corey know that that I sent you, which is awesome. So some people were asking if the super chat was broken. Let's see. I'm trying to read through the chat here. People got questions for the last couple minutes. Where did it go? Wait. Oddball Aquatics, where would I research for the salinity levels of specific rivers? Oh. Huh. I don't think that I've necessarily looked that up except for when I was trying to catalog halophytic plants to the areas that I would be going to. So, which obviously is more often than not going to be coastal regions because halophytic is essentially... Well, just because we're near the end of the show here, I'll just say like brackish water plants. So those are typically going to be near the ocean. But when I was researching the halophytic plants, I do recall some university papers that would let you know if there was an increase or a decrease in salinity in certain stuff. But you're just going to have to you're going to have to do it the hard way. You're going to have to find a river that you're trying to look up, then you're going to have to look it up and find some water tests from there in order to cross-reference the two back and forth. That's just essentially going to be how you're going to have to do it. It's going to be kind of, it's probably going to be a little bit ridiculous, but it's just kind of how it's going to be, I think, unfortunately. So, turns out my drill bit is in the mail. Check that out. Cool. Go back to making things that I've been making, whatever they are. They might be a mystery. They might not. But we're coming up on 5 o'clock. So, that's going to be the end of the show today. Thank you guys for coming out for 2 whole rockin' hours. I think our concurrent highest peoples today was 210. 210 people watching today. That was the highest we got. We're down to 160-something. I want to remind everybody to at least hit the like button so that we can appease the Skynet. So we can appease the Skynet overlords. Hit the like button on your way out. Hit the share button. Hit the subscribe, the bell. I don't know. There's all this nonsense that the robots want us to do. We should definitely do it. Otherwise, they get mad, and then they try to, like, take over our... If anybody's seen Maximum Overdrive, you can see how badly this could go. You know what I mean? Like, it could just go totally cray-cray. Totally cray-cray. Totes. Right? Steve's Shrimpery says, caress the like button, for sure. Yeah, thank you very much, guys, and thank you, everybody, for coming out today. Hopefully you have a beautiful, glorious, delicious Monday evening. Don't go lighting off any fireworks in your living room or outside. Don't light them off anywhere. And I will be talking to you all probably tomorrow. Check us out on The Real Fish Talk. Come on down there. If I missed your question or any of that kind of stuff, go up there and throw it down. You know what I'm saying? Later. Chips, you seen the button anywhere?